Hi, D. Krause here, and the book today is this one, Govert Schilling's Ripples in Spacetime. Now, I usually don't review nonfiction books because I pick them up to learn something, not criticize, unless the book is so obviously wrong at something, like practically every political book published in the last 10 years. But I must sing the praises of this book, which concerns gravitational waves. Specifically, the astonishing and world-changing first detection of such a wave on 14 September 2015 by the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, otherwise known as LIGO. What? You weren't astonished by that? Well, you should be. So, what's a gravitational wave and what's the big deal? Let me take a great unwashed stab at it. A gravitational wave is a ripple in reality, a stretching, for lack of a better word, of time and space. Einstein, who else, predicted that the extremely powerful forces of star collapse and or black hole collisions could actually warp time and space, which was just, a nice, lovely theory until 14 September, and then it was no longer theory. This certainty to which you cling, it ain't there. Everything regarded as fixed and permanent ain't. So now, yes, I know, I have glossed and short shrifted much here, and even the dullest of physicists is rolling eyes at my great unwashedness and tutting over things I have obviously left out or misunderstood in fine, great, condescend much? Point is, I would not have even this lower than basic grasp of this if it wasn't for this book. At the risk of hyperbole, Schilling is Prometheus bringing fire, at least to me, because now I grasp stars. Now, I didn't used to. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronomer when I was growing up. Yeah, fine. I wanted to be a cowboy and a firefighter too. And yeah, pretty much every kid wants to be all three at one point in their lives. Imagine how cool a cowboy, firefighter, astronomer would be. But while I never had a horse or a red truck, I did have a little dinky 60 power telescope through which I swore I saw the Apollo 11 command module circling the moon back there that night in July of 1969. I was going to work on Mount Palomar and wear a white lab coat and squint through eyepieces and one day see the eye of God squinting back at me. So what stopped me? Math. By the time I got to Algebra 2, man, I was a goner. I just didn't get it. And I was a good student. I got A's in everything except math. C's mostly. And because one of the basic requirements for squinting through eyepieces was math beyond Algebra 2, so I was doomed and frustrated. Why didn't I get math? My brother, who dropped out of high school, grasped physics and calculus and trig like it was simple addition and subtraction. Of course, he had a genius IQ, which just goes to prove that public schooling or any kind of schooling for the uber smart is really just kind of a waste of time, and they just end up dispensing with it. I do not have a genius IQ. I have one high enough to know what I want, but low enough to prevent a succession. All poor me. Not for lack of trying. I took a basic astronomy course in college as a backdoor way in, but as soon as we reached star composition, that was it. I was done. So I put away the childish thing of being an astronomer because I will never, ever get math. And then I read this book. And now I grasp what stars are made of. Now not enough to rekindle any kind of a dormant astronomer career. That ship has sailed. but enough to understand what I squint at through eyepieces now. The endlessness of space, the time traveling, the mind blowing amounts of energy that are involved. I mean, the speeds. Man, Schilling explains it all in very basic language that at times sounds a bit patronizing, except he seems to know that guys like me are willing to be taught, so he keeps it just on this side of snobbery, which is fine. At this point in my life, I hold no illusions and I am willing to be taught. His detailed and patient descriptions of how neutron stars form is a grand example. Man, the sheer power involved in the squeezing of atoms to such densities. I mean, it's just downright terrifying. And if I have a nit, it's that Schilling takes a journalist approach to the entire gravitational wave industry and reports on every single program out there. Even one still on the drawing board, and fine, great, I get that, but really, man, spend more time on what all this means. I mean, is my Monday now going to be a little bit longer? Is my drive to the beach shorter? Should I time either or both of them to coincide with the next supernova? You know, we unwashed want to know. But a good job, I must say. Mr. Schilling did an excellent job. And it'd really be nice if he did in his next book on atoms, another concept I never really understood and still don't. You mean that this set of keys here is nothing but billions of little solar systems? Okay. Well, D. Krause here. See you next time.